Okay guys, so get ready with me as I do my face trying new products. My friend was much too generous and kind and randomly sent me many things. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen in my stories I swatched some of the things. I didn't swatch a lot of things because there was so much. She sent me palette after palette and shadow after shadow, even a brush, and I am trying a handful of those things today, and spoiler alert, amazing. I also am using my new Pat McGrath Trio, the primer, foundation, and powder. Once again, if you saw my most recent video, that one was me trying it in many different ways as well. I tried it differently. I tried it mixing a little bit of another water-based foundation in with it to sheer it out a little bit, and I also used it with just my hands so you could see that, because before I demoed it with a brush and with a sponge. And I also tried it with a pore perfector right around the nose, 2 pore perfectors, my favorite, and everything was fabulous and exciting, and I had so much fun filming for you guys today. I hope that you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and let's go. I need to cut my bangs. Almost done with this cream. This is my Kiehl's Creme d'Elegance Reparateur for very dry or dry skin type. I have found that with the Pat McGrath, with continual testing, I don't need a water-based moisturizer. I can use a heavier moisturizer. And I like to put this on before I do my eye makeup and let it sit and just saturate the skin like a mask while I do my eye makeup. I'm going to use my Kiehl's Avocado Eye Cream. These are old school favorites. Like, I've been using these for years. I think I've got to try this green. I have been eyeing it, but I want to pair it with a palette, maybe with my exotic Peacock palette or Pinky Rose. Look at this beauty. Blues, purples, greens, pink, and even terracotta. So I think I'm going to try that with a touch of my Moira Lucent Cream Shadow in Earth. Makeup Forever, step 1. I tend to use this product whenever I'm trying eyeshadows for the first time because I know it so well. This is my favorite. I like other primers for sure. I really like the NARS, and I like Wet n Wild. There's quite a few that I really like. But if I want to get a baseline gauge and control all the other possibilities of what's going on, I use this primer so I can really test eyeshadows out. I think I'm going to start with Risque with my Sonia G Builder Pro brush. Ooh, okay, barely any kick up, sort of creamy looking and very pigmented. Pat this into the inner third. We're gonna go for a simple but colorful eye look. Wow, that's like no need to build up saturation. Okay, hello gorgeous. Okay, I'm officially excited. Provocative, this green here. You guys know I had to try the greens. I've been in such a green mood. I think my new home, I'm gonna have green walls. I'm talking vibrant green. Figured you can always repaint, right? Over the years. Because we're gonna have big windows, so I feel like I can play with jewel tones more. Whereas where I am now, it's just a little bit dark to have dark colors also on the walls. Discreet, the darker teal green, the outer third. the easiest application ever. But blue, I'm thinking Truth, this Cobalt. This one's a little bit more blurple, has a little more purple in it. And this one's more of a true blue. And this is my Worker 2 from Sonia G. Blending that into the outer half of the crease and scooping it around the outer edge. I don't know if it can get much easier than this. I'm so excited. This is beautiful. I highly recommend this, you guys. Peacock. This shimmer aqua. And feather that right above the chartreuse. Just giving a hit of sparkle up there. Fading away from the cobalt. Okay, I think I want to use Wings. This pretty pink shade. Lightly give a metallic sheen over everything. Just to make everything even more retro looking. You see that? I've got to go into Lustful. That shade has just been staring me in the face. It's fabulous purple. I'm going to scoop that on the under edge. Again, dividing the eye into 3 sections so I can fit lots of fun colors. Erotic. That's a fun khaki, pukey, olive green. It has a little more kick up than the other shades so far. And since it's yellow based, I don't want to mix it directly into the purple because that'll just create brown. I'm separating them, and I'll show you what I will choose to do. So in the middle, I'm going to take Dreams. It'll blend nicely into Lustful, and because it's more blue, it'll blend into this green base as a transition shade. So it's not just muddy brown. If you're interested, I have a whole color theory video. Okay, I've got some pigment in my eyes. I feel like there was a little more kick up with that last situation. I honestly don't feel like there was much fallout, but I'm just going to quickly run over all of that with my wipe. I'm going to clean up around with loose powder, but I'm going to do my complexion first. In my last video, I showed you guys what the foundation applied on my skin like with brush and a sponge. I'm going to show you what it's like when I apply it with my fingers, like how Pat McGrath herself applies her own foundation. So we will do that right now. I'm going to take the Pat McGrath Lab Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Primer base with my hands. She says to take a dime size amount. I am going to just take a large pea size amount and put that in the center of my face and work outward. I know I told you guys this so many times, but I love the smell of this primer. So it's nice and smoothing. Now, I'm going to try for the first time taking my No Problem smoothing primer and using this in my problem area. So layering the 2 primers, and I like to sweep upward because that's kind of how it fills in the pores the best with the way my pores are angled. Between the brows and where I have a pock mark. I'm going to let that sit for a second. So I know I'm trying a lot of new stuff all at once, so I'm not exactly being so controlled with my testing now like I was in my first video where I was only changing one thing at a time to make sure I knew what it was I was seeing. But I've been testing them so much, I just want to try it this one time this way. I'm going to take my Makeup Forever Water Blend foundation. The number has rubbed off, but it's significantly darker than my coloring now, and my Pat McGrath is lighter, so I figured the two are both water-based foundations. The color will be better. So you can see the two colors. I'm going to mix those together and see what happens. I don't know if they're compatible. We're going to use my hands and pat this in. It kind of feels like a face massage when I use my hands with water-based foundations. And part of the reason I was going to show you what it looks like when I use my hands with the foundation today was because I know I really love the application of the water blend from Makeup Forever with my hands, more so than brush and sponge. Actually, it's like my favorite method. So I thought it would be a good time to show you the Pat McGrath like that if I was mixing the Makeup Forever in with it. The color does look better with the two. You can see here, looks much more accurate to my actual skin tone. And the Pat McGrath dries down to be a tad bit darker than when you first apply it. Again, it's not oxidization, it's just the dry down change. So the thing about the Pat McGrath, when I just use it on its own and I pat it in with my fingers, it takes some time because you have to chase after unevenness because your fingers are not one smooth surface like a sponge is. So if I'm just using the Pat McGrath foundation, my favorite way is still with a sponge. I don't like it with a brush on my dry skin. Fingers are your next best thing, and that's the way Mother Pat McGrath does it herself. Does that not look flawless? I love it. So really gotta pat it in by the nose where I have more texture issues. Pat it in by the lips where again I've got some dry patches. Pat it in over my lupus rash where stuff doesn't tend to cling as well. And then you're done. It's so photogenic. It looks beautiful on camera, it looks beautiful in pictures. I'm going to take more of my Pat McGrath foundation on its own, do some touch-ups around the nose because I want to do a little more coverage. The Pat McGrath has quite a bit of coverage, for me at least. I like how you can really control how much you get with this bottle. It's a really nice quality, so you can do a very small amount. It's not like you have to take a full pump. Isn't that beautiful? By the way, the No Problem primer is sitting fine underneath it. I'm not having any issues. I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury brush and take the powder. Just set everywhere so it's not too tacky. It's not super tacky on me. Like I said, everything mattifies on my skin type. Okay, so it's not that necessary because I feel very smooth. Finish up with my Bye Bye Pores from IT Cosmetics. Now with this powder, I don't use it to set all over. I always use a powder underneath this powder. It's more of just a texture thing. I don't like to set my stuff with this because it's too heavy and drying and changes the color too much of your foundation. So just slightly smoothing by going up and down along the pores, and it makes them literally disappear. I'm feeling pretty dang confident with that Bye Bye Pores powder over this Pat McGrath powder. It looks absolutely snatched. Isn't that beautiful? So, okay, one other thing is I'm going to take a clean, fluffy brush, if I can find one, for the eyes. This one is my Esom W35. Oh my gosh, it's so soft. This is such a good brush. And I'm going to take my Pat McGrath powder and run this all along the outer edge of the eyes, overlapping the eyeshadow just to make everything blur out along the edges, go over the frosty pink shade that I put at the top there, just tone it all down so it looks airbrushed. I feel like this is like the easiest look ever. So pretty. The Lucid Cream Shadow in number 12 Earth has been just on my mind. I have to try this. It's so pretty in person, you guys. Let me give you a little swatch. It's not even doing it justice. Let's see if I turn on this light. Can you see the sparkle? Compared to in real life, I mean, wow, it's pretty. It's like, it has this purple glimmer through it. I'm going to just use my finger because I feel like it'll work well. And tap over. I don't want to like hide what I did underneath or anything, but I have to use this. How could I not? It's stunning. My friend said these are affordable. I have no idea how much they cost, but she said they were really affordable. I did get some drop down, surprisingly. I was expecting it to be like how you imagine like a cream shadow to be, with absolutely no fallout, but definitely got some fallout, and now I have some green under my eye. I might be playing with fire, but I'm just gonna touch up. I think it looks fine. Shoot, my fingers probably aren't clean anymore because I used it for shadow. Why am I such a mess? It's a little drier. You know, I'm laying it over powder, so it's not as great, but what you gonna do? I mean, mistakes happen. Especially with products you've never used before. Like, I'm gonna forgive myself with that one. I'm sad to not like have to work harder to do my eyeshadow. Is that dumb? That's so dumb. It's ideal not to have to work hard, but I just enjoy the process so much that I don't want it to end, and I feel like I finished in 2 seconds. I guess let's move on to complexion. Wanted it to last longer. I'll do something more intricate next time. How about that? Okay, this is Melt 420, and it's a pretty green shade. Just for kicks, I want to take Lovesick with my S33 just on the very tip of the brush. I'm going to run this around the eye look, touching up this outer corner, running it literally outside of everything I've already done, very lightly. We see how it just exaggerates the eye a little bit more with the slightest, lightest touch. And since that area around the eye is already powdered and not sitting on tacky primer, it's a lot sheerer and softer. Plus the natural bristles of this brush really soft. So it gives this halo effect. It's very, just gives it that extra. I'm taking a Risque, just the tiniest bit, and going underneath even that to give a almost sickly yellow imprint. Can you see that? It's just ever so slight. Okay, do we need a little something in the inner corner, or am I just wanting to keep going and going and going. I think that might be the case. I think what I'm gonna do is pull in this other Moira Lucent Cream Shadow in the shade 14 Neptune with the same brush. Just take a little bit on my brush, tap off the fallout, and pat it lightly in the inner corner to give a little pizzazzle. Does anybody else just love the way your lashes look when you use the Voluminous Lash Paradise Primer? Like, I mean, before you put mascara on top of it, like with the stark white, I just think it looks crazy and trippy. Like, I need a white mascara. Frosted lashes. So different and so cool. Makes me wish it just dried down to be stark white. But this is like I think it's fun. I'm finding all of this very fun. I feel so matte, so I definitely want to put on some highlighter. This is my MAC Soft Frost Extra Dimension Skin Finish. I love these. These are really nice. Duochrome highlighters. Not all of them are duochrome, but quite a few of them are. With my Isabey favorite brush. This has a blue reflect, so I thought it would look really nice with the eye look. And then I think for blush, I'm gonna use my Apricot H&M blush. I like this with green eyeshadow a lot. I'm going to use my Chikuhodo GSN number 3 brush. My friend said their cream blushes are really good too. I need to try those. I'm just going to put that a little bit lower down, because I don't want it to get muddy with the blue and the orange base together. And then for bronzer, I think I'm going to use my bronzer from the Natasha Denona Sculpt and Glow, but I actually really want to use this shade mixed with this shade, because this one is much too dark for me. So mostly the Japanese pressed powder with a dash of the contour sculpting powder. I'm trying a newer thing where I'm bringing it a little bit lower. My cheeks are so big, and I feel like my natural hollows are lower than most people's. So I'm going to try going along with my natural structure instead of lifting it. So you see how that's sinking in at a angle that's a little bit more my spot, whereas I usually put it up here. But I think it looks nice down there too. I love that. Again, a little bit underneath here. Okay, so this is a completely different complexion look from what I showed you guys in my Pat McGrath foundation video, and yet it's, I think, just as beautiful. Less dewy because I did not use a liquid illuminizer. I instead used a little bit of my Makeup Forever water blend, and it sheared it out so I have less coverage. I don't see any dryness, but it's ultra smooth. Like, my pores are refined. It looks beautiful. It looks so smooth. It looks matte and very, I think, also very, very photogenic. So I love the versatility and how it's playing, even with my No Problem primer and putting just a little bit of the IT Cosmetics on top. It looks like a different foundation altogether with no catching on the dryness. Yes, I actually took a long break there because people came over, so they saw me with half my makeup done. So right now it's already, 7:52, so it's been quite some time since I initially, the point where I stopped was when I was just starting to put powder, and then I came back. I don't even feel like I need to set my face. Like, it feels ultra comfortable. And a lot of times with these water-based foundations, I don't feel like I need MAC Fix Plus or Skindinavia finishing spray because they tend to be waterproof. But definitely I could to bring down any powderiness, but it looks really pretty and I don't feel like I need it. I don't feel dry at all. It's beautiful. The more I use this foundation in different ways, the more I love it. I am very happy. Very, very happy. The crazy in me wants to put on a hot pink. I don't know. It's my channel. I'll do what I want. This is my Fenty Unlocked Liquid to Matte. Let's do this. Isn't that cute? Okay. In lieu of lip liner, I'm just carving out the edges with a Q-tip. I don't need a lip liner to hold this lipstick in place, and I don't want to change the color at all. So that is why. Do choose a lip brush if you would like it to be crisp along the edges. I really like a more feathered out lip line. Almost like I've been wearing the lipstick for a few hours already. Or I've been kissing Ryan or something. That's the look I like. I think it's more flattering on my lips because when I do a harsher lip line, I feel like it ages me. And then since I didn't put a whole lot, I can then go and just take a little bit more. And add a little bit more wherever is needed. If you do try this, definitely choose thin, pointy cotton nubs, not the fat, round ones. The one I'm using isn't available anymore. I got it at Sephora. But my favorite are the Esom. I just don't have any more of those right now. But those are the best. I definitely like those the most. I'm going to take a little bit of the highlighter and just tap over the Cupid's bow. To give it a slight blue sheen. I can't tell you enough how much I love every one of these new products I've used, and even the new techniques. So like the contouring lower on my specific facial structure just really, I feel like, makes my cheekbones look how I would like them to, like not so much just here, but including this part down here, if that makes sense. And then the eye look was incredibly fast and easy, so easy to blend. I'm in shock and vibrant and beautiful. Yes to that palette, and yes to my Moira cream shadows, absolutely. And the foundation, I'm loving it more and more every time I use it. With the Makeup Forever, it was great. With the No Pore Blend Primer and the Pat McGrath Labs Primer, great. With the It Cosmetics over the Pat McGrath powder, great. So yes, all around. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and all that good stuff. And I will catch you in my next one. Bye, love bugs.